Hello, it's Peter Merrick, and I'm here in San Diego, and you're probably noticing that it's not sunny, and I want to know where the sun is as well. However, I've been told, since I'm a transplant here from Toronto, that there's something called June gloom. What that means is something happens in the weather patterns at this time of year, or can, and that beautiful sunshine that you hear about San Diego, it doesn't exist. So right now, all my friends back in Toronto and also in New York, Chicago, and Boston, I'm very jealous because you guys are enjoying a nice summer and had a beautiful weekend. And here in San Diego, we haven't seen sunlight in a while. So that being said, the reason I wanted to share with you today is a thought that I've been having for quite a bit of time, and it had to do with don't make assumptions. And the assumptions I made and the cockiness, arrogance, and hubris I had made me step back and really reflect. And again, as I get older, I reflect more and more on my life and the things I've learned, and perhaps by sharing this with you in business, you might not stumble the same way I have, and also not be as hubris, and meaning arrogant, cocky, whatever word you want. Because again, when you're young, we shield ourselves from our fears by portraying cockiness. So I had a second birthday, and on LinkedIn, many of you wished me happy birthday. And I felt, now that the fact that I'm older and I'm very aware of my mortality, because 2 years ago, as I shared, I almost wasn't here. And I'm also aware that my father died very young. So we just think of our mortality more and more. So I got many birthday wishes, and what I did is I sent thank yous. That people were taking a moment to just wish me happy birthday, even if it was one of those pre-programmed things. The fact that I have like close to 18,000 followers, and a number of you took that time out, and I wanted to recognize that. And as I get older, I want to just recognize the moment, because that's all we have are moments. So one individual who came and wished me happy birthday, we hadn't spoken to each other in quite a long time. So much has passed, maybe 15, 16, 17 years. And I worked with this individual at a large bank where I was hired as a consultant on individual pension plan handbooks. For those of you who don't know, my breakout book, textbook, was the Essential Individual Pension Plan Handbook. It was really popular back in the early 2000s, and I want to share with you the story of how it came about. But first I want to share with you where I became really hubris, and I regret it. And I also regret that I never thanked this individual for all the help that they'd given me. I wrote an article right before my life blew up, and it was in this CPA magazine, and it hit. I ended up getting hundreds of calls. I did not want to call anyone back because I was on the verge of bankruptcy, and my life was a disaster, or a big shit show. Did I just say that? Yeah, I did. Hopefully LinkedIn and YouTube and everyone doesn't block me for that. And one of the people who reached out to me was a woman named Julie, and she was responsible for building all the planning for business owners for this very, very, very large bank. And she read the article, and she said, we are implementing individual pension plans. And we started speaking, and we became friendly, and we met, and there was no opportunity. And then, since nothing had been written on individual pension plans, I sent out an email to a bunch of people saying I'd like to write a course on IPPs, individual pension plans. Julie wrote back and said, Peter, if you write a course, I will buy 1,700 for our brokers in our brokerage for our bank, because we're really behind this. I was able to go to Moody's, something called the CSI up in Canada, and I showed them that email I had from her, and they hired me to write the first individual pension plan course, which almost every stockbroker, financial advisor in Canada eventually took if they were to sell individual pension plans. So this was like, if it wasn't for Julie, that would not have happened. So the same thing happened with my book idea. I wanted to turn the course into a book. And Julie wrote back to me and said, "Hey Peter, if you write this book, I will buy this for all our bank managers and all our brokers, and we can go and buy about 2,700, this time more than the 1,700 of your book." So what did I do? I went to LexisNexis, who I wrote a column for one of their trade papers, and they gave me a book deal. And time passed. I took up writing, and in essence, these books and these courses gave me a life, and they gave me a name too within the financial industry. So time passes and everything, and I'm trying to reach Julie for a number of years. I tried to reach Julie, and I asked this individual who wished me happy birthday what happened to Julie, and he shared something with me. And what he shared with me was Julie had died in 2016 of breast cancer. I was literally taken aback. And I didn't know what to say. And I didn't really know Julie's life. I knew that she had been so helpful for me on my journey. And I'd like to think I was somewhat helpful, but I was young, arrogant, cocky. I just was giving a service, and I never really thought about Julie's life. I thought that she had a great job, and I didn't know much. And when I started doing my reading, especially on her obituary, I found out that she was a very young mother, and she had worked so hard to get that position, and she did it because she gave to other people. And I never really got to say thank you to Julie. And when I started going through my emails, my correspondence with Julie in the early 2000s, I realized after my big blow up, when I almost went bankrupt and I thought my life was shit, it was Julie who gave me an opportunity. She said if I did something, she would fully support me if I did it. And I'm a strong believer in, helping people out, those who will help themselves, teaching someone to fish rather than giving them a fish. And in this case, Julie said, if you do this, I will give you the full support of my bank that basically has $1 trillion of assets under management. I will give you the support, and I will pledge to buy first my course and then my book. And that gave me my life. And I'm so grateful to Julie. And I mentioned before in a past broadcast that I like writing obituaries. And I'm in the process of writing, a thank you to Julie. And we are so busy in our lives. We are so busy. And it's just a reminder to me that sometimes it's worthwhile to stop and thank the people who've helped us. Because life is just so busy, and we have so many things in our lives, and we make assumptions that there'll always be a tomorrow. And Julie died at 44, and she was so helpful to me, and I wish she was around so I could actually say thank you. She's not around, but I want to share with many of you who might listen to this. I will, over the course of the next few years, if I'm here, say thank you to those of you who've helped me on my journey, helped me see more. And if you like this video, please press like. If you have a comment, please share. Please share the video. And if we're not contacts, please invite me to be your friend. I look forward to sharing more thoughts. And thank you for listening to me, and have a great evening.